Hello everyone, welcome to the e-learning program of KTHM College Nasik. I am Dr. M.K. Devre from Department of Physics, KTHM College Nasik. Dear students, in this lecture we are going to discuss the 7th unit of the second chapter, Analysis of the Cubic Crystal by Powder Method. Students, in the previous lecture we have seen in details about the experimental arrangement and the working of the powder method, and here we are going to see how the powder method is useful for the analysis of the cubic crystal method. Now this is the schematic diagram of the powder method. Now in this case, in this experimental arrangement of the powder method, now it consists of the X-ray tube, the filament, it is also known as the monochromator, and this is the collimator. It consists the slit S1 and S2, which produces the fine beam of the monochromatic X-ray. Now to study the cubic crystal by using the powder method, now let us consider the monochromatic beam of the X-ray having the wavelength say as the lambda incident on the powder specimen, which is a cubic crystal. We have seen in the working of the powder method, when the monochromatic beam of the X-ray incident on the powder material, it diffracted from the powdered crystalline material and it forms the concentric circular ring on the photographic film. Now in this figure we can see here the concentric circular rings on this photographic film. We also seen the width of the film is narrow. Due to that, we can see here the symmetrical lines. If we consider the distance between the symmetrical lines on this photographic film, say as the L1, L2, L3, corresponding to the angle of the diffraction theta 1, theta 2 and the theta 3. We have already obtained the expression for the interplanar distances of the two parallel planes having the Miller indices HKL for the cubic crystal, and it is expressed as T is equal to be the A divided by under root H square plus K square plus L square. We have also studied about the Bragg diffraction condition in case of the direct lattice, and it is expressed as the 2d sin theta is equal to the n lambda. If we write this expression in terms of the d, so the d is equal to the n lambda divided by 2 sin theta. By equating the equation number 1 and 3, we get the a divided by under root h square plus k square plus l square is equal to the n lambda divided by the 2 sin theta. By squaring on both sides, we get n square into lambda square into in bracket h square plus k square plus l square is equal to the 4a square sin square theta. Now in this expression, n is the order of diffraction, lambda is the wavelength, and HKL are the Miller indices. Therefore these values are the integers. Therefore the n square into in bracket h square plus k square plus l square must be a positive integer. Therefore this positive integer, say it is equal to be the n. So we can write the n square in bracket h square plus k square plus l square is equal to be the n. Therefore, the equation number 5 becomes n into the lambda square is equal to the 4a square sine square theta. By rearranging this equation, we get sine square theta divided by the n is equal to the lambda square divided by the 4a square. But we know that the lambda is the wavelength. Now it remains constant and a is the lattice constant of the cubic crystal. Now it is also the constant. Therefore, we can write the sine square theta divided by the n. Now this ratio is equal to the constant. For the simple cubic crystal, we can write the interplanar distance for the planes 1, 1, 0. The d110 is equal to be the a divided by under root 1 square plus 0 square plus 0 square is equal to a. That means for the plane having the Miller indices 1, 0, 0, now its interplanar distance is equal to be the a. Similarly, we can obtain the interplanar distance for the plane 1, 1, 0 and for the plane 1, 1, 1. For the plane 1, 1, 0, the d is equal to be the a divided by the under root 2, and for the plane 1, 1, 1, the d is equal to be the a divided by the under 3. If we take the ratio of these three interplanar distances, then we get d100 as to d110 as to d111 is equal to be the 1 as to 1 divided by under root 2 as to 1 divided by the under root 3. Now this relation can be verified by using the experimental data of the cubic crystal. Now in case of that, the experimental data of the cubic crystal, if we consider the wavelength of the incident X-ray is 1.3 angstrom unit, then in case of the cubic crystal, the maximum reflection will be obtained at the glancing angles. Theta 1 is equal to be the 19.30 degree, theta 2 is equal to be the 27.72 degree, and theta 3 is equal to be the 34.73 for the parallel planes having the Miller indices d1, d2 and the d3 respectively. Therefore, we can see that from the experimental observation, corresponding to these three glancing angles theta 1, theta 2 and the theta 3, we can find the value of the sine theta and the sine square theta. Now then, corresponding to the different values of n, we can find the ratio sine square theta divided by the n. And here we observe that for these three glancing angle corresponding to the different values of the n varying from the 2 to 6, we observe that here we get the constant value of this ratio sine square theta divided by the n. For the angle theta 1 is equal to be the 19.30 degree, we get the constant value corresponding to the value of the n is equal to be the 2. For the glancing angle theta 2 is equal to be the 27.72 degree, we get the constant value of this ratio sine square theta divided by the n corresponding to the value of n is equal to be the 4. And for the glancing angle 34.73 degree, we get the constant value of this ratio sine square theta divided by the n corresponding to the value of n is equal to be the 6. Therefore, from this table we can write the constant value of this ratio sine square theta divided by the n is equal to be the 0.0541. Now then, by using this equation, the sine square theta divided by the n is equal to be the lambda square divided by the 4a square. We can determine the value of the lattice constant. Thereby substituting the value of sine square theta divided by the n ratio, then we get the value of a, that is the lattice constant of the cubic crystal, and its value is equal to be the a is equal to be the 2.79 angstrom unit. By using the value of this lattice constant, we can determine the value of the interplanar distance d for a particular set of the parallel planes having the Miller indices HKL. We know that the interplanar distance of the cubic crystal having the Miller indices HKL is d is equal to be the a divided by under root h square plus k square plus l square. Now then, we can obtain the value of d corresponding to the three different parallel planes. The first parallel set of the parallel plane, say as the 1 0 0, then its interplanar distance d1 0 0 is equal to b. By substituting the value of lattice constant and the values of the Miller indices, we get the d100 is equal to the 2.79 angstrom unit. Similarly, the interplanar distance for the particular set of the parallel planes 110, we get it is equal to be the 1.973 angstrom unit. And in case of the parallel plane 111, its interplanar distance is a d111 is equal to be the 1.61 angstrom unit. By taking the ratio of these three equations, the equation number 9, equation number 10 and equation number 11, we get d100 as to d110 as to d111 is equal to 1 as to 1 divided by the under root 2 as to 1 divided by under root 3. Now, the ratio of these interplanar distance d1, d2 and d3, we can confirm it by using the Bragg's diffraction condition also. We know that the Bragg's diffraction condition is the 2d sin theta is equal to the n lambda. For the first order, it becomes the 2d sin theta is equal to be the lambda. We can write this Bragg's diffraction condition corresponding to the interplanar distances, and for the glancing angle theta 1, theta 2 and the theta 3, we get the lambda is equal to the 2d1 into sin theta 1, lambda is equal to the 2d2 into the sin theta 2, and lambda is equal to the 2d3 into the sin theta 3. Now, if we take the ratio of these three equations, we get the d100 as to the d110 as to d111 is equal to 1 divided by sin theta 1 as to 1 divided by the sin theta 2 as to 1 divided by sin theta 3. By substituting the values of the glancing angle theta 1, theta 2 and the theta 3, so we can write here the d1 as to d2 as to d3 is equal to be the 1 divided by the sin 19.2 degree as to 1 divided by the sin 27.72 degree as to 1 divided by sin 34.73 degree. By substituting the values of sin 19.2 degree, sin 27.72 degree and sine 34.73 degree. We get these values. Now then we can write it, the T1 as to D2 as to D3 is equal to the 3 as to 2.15 as to 1.75. Therefore, by dividing the 3 to these values, so we get here the D1 as to D2 as to D3 is equal to be the 1 as to 0.703 as to 0.578. Now we can write this value in terms of this ratio also. Therefore we get the D100 as to D110 as to D111 is equal to be the 1 as to 1 divided by the root 2 as to 1 divided by the root 3. Now we have already seen this ratio of these interplanar distances, and by using theoretically also and by using practically, that means from the observed experimental data, we get this ratio is the same. Therefore we can say that the observed crystal is a simple cubic type of the crystal. So the students, now remember what is the experimental procedure to study the type of the crystalline material by using the powder method. We have taken one of that, the example, that is the cubic crystal, and we have seen that theoretically and practically we get the ratio of these interplanar distances are equal. Therefore the material observed by using the powder method is a cubic crystal. Now student, we are going to see we are going to take some problems related with these topics. Now the first problem is that the X-ray of the wavelength 1.6 angstrom unit are diffracted by a Bragg's crystal spectrometer at an angle of 14.2 degree in the first order. What is the spacing of the atomic layers in the crystal? Now in this problem you have to first write which things what we are going to be determined and what things are given here and which formula is applicable here. Now here it is necessary to determine the interplanar spacing, that is the value of the t. So by using the Bragg's diffraction condition, 2d sin theta is equal to be the n lambda, we can determine the value of the t. Now the given parameters are the lambda, that is the wavelength, the order is given here, it is equal to the 1, and the glancing angle is given here, the theta. Therefore by rearranging this equation we get the d is equal to the n lambda divided by the 2 sin theta. By substituting all these values we get the d is equal to the 3.27 angstrom unit. So now in this way we can find the value of the spacing of the atomic layers in that the crystal in this problem, and it is equal to the 3.27 angstrom unit. Now see here in the second problem, the X-ray of the wavelength 1.392 angstrom unit are reflected from the face of the NaCl crystal. The first order reflection is observed here at an angle 14 degree 17 minutes and 26 seconds. Calculate the latter spacing. Now in this case here Again we have to be calculate the lattice spacing, that is the interplanar distance d. Again you have to be use the same formula, that is the Bragg's diffraction condition, 2d sin theta is equal to be the n lambda. Now first write down the given things. Lambda is given here, it is equal to the 1.392 angstrom unit. The order of the reflection is given and it is equal to be the 1, and the glancing angle is given. So by substituting this value in this equation, so we get the interplanar distance for this problem d is equal to the 2.82 angstrom unit. Now the third problem is the glancing angle of the first order spectrum is 5 degree and 30 minutes in Bragg's X-ray spectrometer. If the crystal spacing is 2.65 angstrom unit, calculate the wavelength of the X-ray. Now in this problem you have to be calculate the wavelength. So you have to be use the same Bragg's diffraction condition, 2d sin theta is equal to the n lambda. Now then first write down the given parameters here, that is the d e interplanar spacing is given here for the first order and the glancing angle is given here. So rearrange this equation, express it in terms of the lambda. So the lambda is equal to be the 2d sin theta divided by the n, and by substituting all these values we get the value of the lambda, it is equal to be the 0.5 angstrom unit. Now in this way, by using this Bragg's diffraction condition, we can determine the value of the d interplanar spacing, the glancing angle, and also the wavelength of the incident X-ray. The fourth problem is a powder pattern is obtained for the lead with a radiation of the X-ray having the wavelength 1.54 angstrom unit. The 220 reflection is observed at the Bragg's angle 32 degree. What is the lattice parameter of the lead and the radius of the atoms? So to students, in this problem we have to be find the lattice parameter and the radius of the atom. So we need the three formulas. The first one is the Bragg's diffraction condition and the second one is the interplanar distance. Now the given things are here, the lambda is equal to be the wavelength of the X-ray radiation is given and it is equal to be the 1.54 angstrom unit. The order of the reflection is given, the n is equal to be the 1, the angle of the reflection, that is glancing angle, is given for corresponding to the plane having the Miller indices 220. So you have to be find the value of the d, a, and the radius of the atoms. So by using the Bragg's diffraction condition, we can find the value of the d. By substituting these values here, we get the d is equal to be the 1.453 angstrom unit. Now then by using the formula of the interplanar spacing, we can determine the value of lattice. We can determine the value of the lattice parameter a, and a is equal to be the d into under root h square plus k square plus l square. By substituting these values of the d and the hkl, so we get the lattice parameter a is equal to be the 4.1 angstrom unit. Now the lead having the FCC structure, therefore the radius of the FCC structure is given as r is equal to be the a divided by the twice under root 2. By substituting the value of lattice parameter a, now we get the radius of the atom r is equal to be the 1.44 angstrom unit. So now in this way, for the determination of the lattice parameter and the radius of the atoms, we need the three formulas. One is the Bragg's diffraction condition, second one is the interplanar spacing, and third one is the formula of the radius of the FCC structure. Okay, now the next problem is the age of the cubic unit cell of the lead is 4.92 angstrom unit. The density of the lead is 11.55 gram per centimeter cube and its molecular weight is 207.19 calculate the smallest angle for the X-ray having the wavelength point 708 angstrom unit reflected from the 110 plane of this crystal. So now student, in this problem the density is given and you have to find the two things. Now one is to show that which type of the structure is lead, and second one is to determine the smallest angle, that is the value of theta. So you should know the formula for the density of the unit cell, and the density of the unit cell is given as the I is equal to the n into the capital M divided by the A cube into the Na. Now where n is the number of the atoms per unit cell, m is the molecular weight. Now A is the lattice constant and Na is the Avogadro's number. So you have to be use here the three formulas. One is for the density, second one is for the interplanar distance, and third one is the Bragg's diffraction condition. So now by using the given things here, the Avogadro's number, the molecular weight, the intensity, the lattice constant and the value of the lambda, you have to be determined the value of small n, that are the number of the units per unit cell, and the value of the theta. So by substituting these values of the density of the unit cell, molecular weight, lattice constant and the Avogadro's number, now in this formula we get the number of the atoms per unit cell and it is equal to the 4. Now we have already studied that how to calculate the number of the atoms per unit cell in case of that the FCC structure, BCC structure and the SC structure. Now we know that in case of that the FCC structure, the number of the atoms per unit cell are the 4. So here also the number of the atoms are 4, therefore the lead having the FCC structure. Now second is that by using the interplanar distance we can determine the value of the theta. Now in this case here, for the calculate the smallest angle, now for that here you have to be take the value of the order n is equal to be the 2, therefore the sin theta is equal to be the n lambda divided by the 2d. Substituting the values of the n lambda and the d, we get the sin theta is equal to be the 0.2040. By taking the inverse of this, we get the theta is equal to be the 11 degree and the 44 minutes. Okay, now in the next problem is, in case of the certain crystal, the maxima of the reflected X-ray are the glancing angles 5 degree 12 minutes, 7 degree 24 minutes, 9 degree 1 minute respectively from the three different reflecting planes. Determine the type of the cubic crystal. Now we have already studied the experiment. By using that the experimental data, how to determine the how to find the type of the crystal. Now theoretically we need the Bragg's diffraction. We need that the first one is the Bragg's diffraction condition, which is the 2d sin theta is equal to the n lambda. Now but here the wavelength is constant, so we can write the Bragg's diffraction condition in terms of that the d is equal to the lambda divided by the 2 sin theta, but now the lambda is constant, so we can write the d is directly proportional to the 1 divided by the 2 sin theta. Now if we consider here the d1, d2 and the d3 are the corresponding the interplanar distances for the glancing angles, the three glancing angles theta 1, theta 2 and the theta 3, that are the 5 degree 12 minutes, 7 degree 24 minutes and 9 degree 1 minutes. So we can express this equation in this way. The d1 is directly proportional 1 upon 2 sin theta 1, d2 is directly proportional 1 upon 2 sin theta 2, and d3 is directly proportional 1 upon sin theta 3. By taking the ratio of these three equations, we get d1 as to d2 as to d3 is equal to be the 1 divided by the 2 sin theta 1, 1 divided by the 2 sin theta 2, 1 divided by the 2 sin theta 3. Therefore, by substituting these values of the theta 1, theta 2 and the theta 3, we can write this equation in this way. Therefore, by finding the values of the sine, by finding the values of the sine 5 degree 12 minutes, sine 7 degree 24 minutes and the sine 9 degree 1 minutes, we get this equation. Now then we get d1 as to d2 as to d3 is equal to be the 11.038 as to 7.764 as to 6.382. By dividing the 11.038 to these remaining values, so we get the d1 as to d2 as to d3 is equal to be the 1 as to 0.703 as to 0.578. Now we can write this in this way also. d1 as to d2 as to d3 is equal to the 1 as to 1 divided by the root 2 as to 1 divided by the root 3. Now we have already find that if the ratio of the interplanar distances is 1 as to 1 divided by the root 2 as to 1 divided by the root 3, now then the given crystalline structure is a cubic crystal structure. Now in this way, students, I have taken some problems based on this topic also. So remember how to determine the type of the crystal structure by using the Powder method, and how to solve the problems based on the Bragg's diffraction conditions also, and the Bragg's diffraction condition and the Powder method. So thank you.